What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another War Within video. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. We are going to revisit some of the enhancement shaman changes that came through on the patch notes 2 days ago, yesterday, whatever it was. There were some big changes that actually came through for shaman in general, and we looked at the elemental ones yesterday. Going to look at the enhancement ones today, okay? So right here, Stormbringer damage went up by 50%, which is a really big deal. Great for the Storm build. I don't actually think Enhancement Shaman necessarily needed a 50% boost in Tempest damage because Tempest damage is already pretty high, but I'll take it. I don't mind buffs at all. I think it's really, really fantastic. And then for enhancement, our Elemental Blast change got reverted. So the 25% nerf to Elemental Blast got reverted, which is great. So now our Elemental Blast is still doing crazy amounts of damage. The reason that this got reverted is because the tier set bonus changed. So the old tier set bonus used to say your Feral Spirits last 100% longer. And I think we all knew that there was a nerf coming. We all knew there was some kind of nerf coming. And the nerf that they chose to go with is actually totally fine. So now your tier set bonus says you get +1 Feral Spirit whenever you activate Feral Spirits, okay? Now, you're immediately maybe going to think, well, what about Rolling Thunder when your Tempest summons a Nature Feral Spirit? This guy does not, you don't get an extra dog when this guy spawns, okay? You only get an extra dog when you actually cast Feral Spirits yourself. So it's definitely a nerf, but we knew a nerf was coming, and I think if they were to nerf this tier set bonus in any way, I think this was one of the best ways that they could have chosen to do it. This is great, actually. Getting 3 wolves up at a time is really good. Number one, if you're doing physical dogs with like an alpha wolf build, that's just straight up more damage that you're going to have all the time because you're going to have 3 dogs up basically all the time. If you're going elemental spirits, then that means there's a higher chance that you're going to get whatever element you're looking for. Let's say you're looking for an extra nature dog. Maybe you get 2 fire dogs. You now have a chance to get that 3rd dog. Maybe he'll end up being a nature dog, and that's going to buff your damage. So it's actually fine. It is definitely a nerf, but what was happening before was completely ridiculous. We were having 8, 9 dogs out at a time, getting like elemental blasts that were hitting for like 8 to 10 million damage. It's not, that was never going to stay the way it was. So I think that this change is actually perfectly fine. And if you're doing things like correctly, rotation wise, then I do really think that you're going to have a good time, and you're going to have multiple dogs out at a time as well. So if we just look here, let's just do like dogs. I'm doing like a storm build here. So I have 3 dogs out right now. Okay. We're going to try and cool them down. Let's just do Bloodlust, I guess. Here we go. So this is like in a Bloodlust window. You can see I'll have my dogs back in a second here. Here we go. There's Feral Spirits into a Tempest. And we'll try and cool them down again. And you're going to be able to have moments, I think, where you almost have 6 dogs out at a time, which is really good. I might not get that moment right here, but we'll see. There, I got 6 dogs out at a time. It was only for a second, but as you scale into the later part of the expansion, you're going to get moments like that where you have multiple dogs out, okay? It's going to happen. There's 6 dogs again. We have 6 dogs out right now for a moment. As you get more haste and as you scale into the expansion, I promise you, there we go. I just got 6 right there. I have 6 out right now. There's a great example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're all giving me increased fizz damage. If I had elemental wolves, they'd all be giving me some different elemental buff, right? But my haste is like 24% right now. That's actually with my buffs. Watch once my buffs fall off here. Down to 19%. So imagine as you scale into the later part of season 1, you're going to be getting way more haste. You're going to have more gear. It's going to be a lot better. I promise you. So you're going to have like enchants, and you're going to have, you know, whatever, all kinds of stuff going on there. The damage is still really, really solid. I just did 1.36 mil sustained. I wasn't even paying attention. The damage is really solid. They did fix Lightning Rod. So Lightning Rod is actually working properly now. It wasn't scaling correctly. Conductive energy was not giving us what the tooltip said it was, so that's working correctly now. And your wolf uptime is still going to be like 100%. I'm telling you, it's going to be really, really high. And you're going to have basically 3 dogs out at a time, potentially 6 inside of like a lust window. And as you scale into the later part of the expansion, your stats are going to get much better. So do not worry about the dogs. Don't worry about the nerf. It's actually not that bad at all, I promise. Okay. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind. Here's damage in a Mythic plus dungeon. Again, if you're doing a storm build, I promise you that you're going to be absolutely fine, guys. I'm doing the physical variant here. I actually think that the elemental dog variant is probably better. You can see right here, if I press my wolves right now, I would have 6 wolves up at a time. I don't think I do. I think I wait for a couple. There. I have 6 bonuses right there. That's like 15, 30, 45, 60. That's like a lot of physical damage bonus, right? So if I had elemental dogs, we'd be getting all the different buffs, and it would be really, really good. It's a much more reasonable tier set bonus now. It's still one of the best tier set bonuses in the game, in my opinion. It's really, really strong. I think it's really strong. Yeah, so I don't worry about it, guys, promise. Here's the new mechanic in Mythic Plus. So right for now, Blizzard has gotten rid of the mechanic that spawns sorry, not the one that spawns, the one that spawns a whole bunch of little dudes that you have to crowd control, and then you get a haste buff. That one is still in the game. The other Xalatath one, where like enemies, as enemies get really low, they like enrage and they get a bunch of haste and you need to kill them, that one is gone. So they've replaced it with this Xalatath, this just a singular mob that you have to kill, and if you kill that Xalatath, you know, vision or whatever, it'll give you a crit buff, which is really, really strong. I end up getting knocked off here. I thought I had my, I didn't press my button. Yeah, I pressed it too late. I'm dead. So I think this new buff is really good. There it is right there. So it spawns, it doesn't have a lot of health. You can kill it pretty quickly. And it also gives you a cleave target. So like, it's actually kind of funny, but for Enhancement Shaman, our Crash Lightning doesn't trigger the additional effect until you hit 2 targets. So Xalatath, this sort of mob, actually adds an additional target on bosses, and you can get some value out of Crash Lightning. It's a very small thing, but it's kind of cool. But it gives you a 20% crit bonus, you can see right there, for 20 seconds, which is going to be amazing for so many different builds, right? Lots of different builds are going to benefit from that. I mean, everybody's going to benefit from it, but it's not a difficult mob to get rid of, I promise you that. And it doesn't spawn, it spawns fairly frequently, but it's not too bad to have to deal with, promise. Here's some damage here when I get a Tempest proc, and then I get a Deeply Rooted proc. We're immediately just doing 1.3, 1.4 mil without even really sneezing, like without even trying at all. It's just not, it's not that bad. The Storm build is really good. There's another DRE proc that I got. Again, back up to 1.4 mil. Very good. It's very good, guys. The Storm build is fine. I'm telling you, the Wolves are fine. I'll show you some boss damage here right now on this boss. We have Bloodlust here, and I'm just pressing my Lightning Bolt, of course, and it's going to trigger Tempest for free, which is very, very good. They did modify this boss, but I'll have to cover this in a dungeon video some other time. They did change this boss. He's actually easier now. Here's a proc with DRE. So Deeply Rooted proc my Tempest right away, and I'm getting more Lightning Bolts. By the end of my Deeply Rooted, I've spent so much Maelstrom that I have another Tempest proc up again. So very, very strong. And the damage is good too. There's the Xalatath Emissary. We're going to destroy it right here. Not a problem. My Tempest proc actually benefited from that as well, because my Tempest ended up hitting 2 targets, which procced my talent that makes my Chain Lightnings do more damage. So kind of cool. Then I got another Deeply Rooted proc here. It just feels good, guys. The Storm build feels really good. Tempest is doing lots of damage. Yeah, I promise it's looking good. I think it's looking good overall. And the Wolf problem is not a problem. I'm telling you right now, it's just not a problem. The tier set bonus was bound to get nerfed, and this is a much, much more reasonable way for the tier set bonus to work. So that's it. That's how the Enhancement Shaman Storm build is looking. Those are the changes that have happened. Tempest is doing lots of damage. Elemental Blast is now also going to do lots of damage, and the change has been reverted. And of course, the tier set bonus just gives us 1 extra dog now, instead of having 500 dogs up all at the same time. It wasn't a reasonable thing. So now they've made it a much more reasonable tier set bonus. I think it's really good. Shaman's looking good. Enhancement Shaman is looking very, very strong. I'm telling you guys right now, with the defensive changes to our class tree, and now the little buffs and nerfs that are coming in here, it's looking very, very good. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you going to play Enhancement Shaman in the War Within? I would love to hear from you down there if you're thinking of playing Enhancement Shaman. I'm going to do a guide very shortly on the Totemic build and how good it is, because I think that Totemic actually has a really cool build that might actually work. But let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. Thank you so much again for watching. Love y'all. I will see you in the next one. Peace.